Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again, and recently I've taken to trying out Doomfletch Prism once again. If you remember, I did go ahead and make a pretty damn nice and successful Doomfletch Prism Inquisitor back a good few months ago, and with sort of a few passive tree adjustments and the Wise Oak Flask, it seems that you should be able to get by making a Pathfinder, or, you know, even any other sort of class, but I think Pathfinder should be the best Doomfletch character. And Inquisitor, you know, starts in a really bad place, and it just doesn't feel good traveling a lot, so it's not a very fast or smooth character, even though it has an insane amount of damage. So this time around we did start a Pathfinder and stuck to the right side of the tree, and the goal was to, I guess, not use Barrage, and see what kind of single target we could pull out, and what kind of clear speed we could pull out. And I started out with Shrapnel Shot, and that's what you're seeing here, that's what's happening right now. We started out with Shrapnel Shot, and as we were leveling with it, and then used the Threshold Jewels, I decided it felt good enough to give it a full go in its entirety, basically. The two Threshold Jewels are pretty damn good to have in a Shrapnel Shot build, as they do give a good bit of extra area, plus a 100% chance to then double your Shrapnel Shot damage. So in the end, it becomes a really good single target, while not being the greatest clear speed thing in the world. If you just use Shrapnel Shot, as I have been, for both clear and single target, it makes for a pretty smooth playstyle without having to swap between two different skills and without having to use two different 6-links. So in the end, I'm going to try and get a 6-link Siege Ballista, or 5-link Siege Ballista, as a single target helper, while mostly just Shrapnel Shotting for AoE and then putting in a few different gems for single target Shrapnel Shot, and put it to the test to see if we can make a decent bow build without having to resort to Barrage cheese, because as we all know right now, Barrage is pretty insane, especially with Dying Sun and Barrage projectiles and all that. So I'm giving Shrapnel Shot a test instead, because it's been pretty fun, and it would be nice to have a fairly strong alternative to single target that isn't Barrage or Tornado Shot with additional arrows and Tornado Shot Helm Enchant as well. So it's just sort of a Doomfletch, you know, generic build with whatever skill you want, but in this case, Shrapnel Shot. So the clear speed's been good, the DPS has been good, and I'll go over how I've built it so far. It is currently nowhere near a completed build, so don't judge it too much on what I am and am not wearing, but the bow we're building around is Doomfletch Prism. If you don't know what it is, it's the upgraded version of Doomfletch, and what it does is give you 110% of bow Fizz as extra damage of each element. So it converts your Fizz into 3 times, practically 3 times as much elemental damage, 110% of each. So you hit for cold, lightning, and fire all at the same time on top of your initial Fizz. So the way this bow works is you really want to go out of your way to stack a lot of physical damage, just added physical damage from steel rings, from your amulet, from your quiver, if you really want an Abyssus, but I'm not doing that. And that's basically how you get all of your damage, because every point of Fizz gives you 3 times as much elemental back. And then you scale with elemental, wet elemental, and all kinds of stuff on the passive tree, projectile damage, all that sort of bullshit, to get a really strong bow. It's pretty much the best elemental bow you can get right now. Anything else is going to be extremely lackluster, though that does make it a bit more gear dependent because of all the other stuff you have to wear. But this is what it is, and I do have a very, you know, sort of comprehensive Inquisitor guide on this if you want more about it. For now, I just wanted to give a quick rundown of how I'm doing this and why I'm doing it. So we picked up collateral damage. We have 2 of them. 50% chance to double damage on each of them, that's 100%, and another 50% area. And I'll be the first person to admit I did not think Shrapnel Shot could work. I did mention it after seeing these jewels initially. I thought Shrapnel Shot was still going to be shit. Turns out it's pretty damn good, and I've been enjoying it, and I think it has certain potential to clear the entire game. As well as that, also running a Lionized Fall to convert our claw nodes over here for some good crit multi, and the leech, which means we don't have to grab these leech nodes here. And as well as that, we have Point Blank, which turns us into a bit more of a melee, and we pretty much have to face tank to get the best damage out of our Shrapnel Shot, which isn't a big deal at this stage, but seems pretty worth it. Now the tooltip on Shrapnel Shot basically means nothing. It's extremely meaningless, because as you can see, we have almost no damage here, while I was, one-shotting everything on the Atsiri phases, because it doesn't factor in point blank, it doesn't factor in the jewels, it doesn't factor in the secondary cone from the skill itself, it doesn't factor in Doomfletch DPS. All in all, there's like an extra, 700 extra % damage here on this bastard, and it hits really goddamn hard in the end. So that's if we go in full single target mode. At the moment, my setup's not optimized, but our full single target is Conk Effect, slow projectiles, shrapnel, weapon elemental damage, and faster attacks. Last link will probably be elemental focus. Where is it? There, for another 47% more. At this stage, 7k tooltip still means nothing, but it hits like a truck. Otherwise, we are using GMP for clear speed, even though it's kind of up for debate whether it's necessary or not, because you can either just shoot once and rely on your cone to do all the damage, or you can use GMP and get multiple arrows to get still more or less just the cone, but better spread. And for the most part, I've been using GMP. It feels pretty good. Increased area for the cone, obviously, and just general damage as, you do build for a Doomfletch. Currently running triple Herald because it feels really good. I'm not sure if it's the right answer in the end, but running Herald of Ash, Thunder and Lightning, Thunder and Ice just feels really good for the clear, and not too important to get things like Wrath, so this may be the best use of my mana reservation anyway, besides of course a Blasphemy or Grace. And got a Shrapnel Shot damage enchant here, got Flat Fizz pretty much everywhere I can. I'll hopefully have more about this in the future if it feels really good and it's worth sharing. But for now, that's basically what we're doing. Wise Oak, it's supposed to be insane if you balance all of your resists appropriately. Currently, I only get the lightning portion of it, but if we balance all three across the board to have the exact same overcapped resists, which I'll try and do, then you get an additional 25% pen to all attacks, even more because we're a Pathfinder and we have some flask effectiveness. Aside from that, Vinktar's pretty damn good, and I'm wearing a rock gut because it seems to go pretty nicely for this build, gives me some onslaught. My frenzies are recharged up to 3 almost immediately when killing things, and that's pretty much all I'll mention for now, I think, and save some for, the next few videos. I'll just say for now though, Shrapnel Shot been actually surprisingly good, and maybe something you want to look into in your current bow builds. But for now, that's this one. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and see you next time.